Well, we've reached another Thursday. We are in the middle of October. Thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Otaku Thursday right here on Cuticast TV. We thank you very much on there. If you take just this moment as we're beginning this video to drop a comment, like, share, and hit that subscribe button. We're well over 1,400 subscribers right here on YouTube. We're growing over on Rumble, and we're working on X right now. So basically, you might start to see some of our videos on X as we have been check marked. We're still waiting for the final approval on that. So basically, look for that coming soon. Also, we're going to be trying to do at least a Otaku Thursday live stream. That's coming soon as we're putting the Man Cafe out there live, which we're trying to decide what time, what day would be best suited for for our viewers out there. So once again, thank you very much on there. Don't forget, hey, listen, we got a merch shop out there. And we got some great t-shirts. They're anti-censorship t-shirts. Most of them are anime. So do check them out. Remember, proceeds that come to us from that goes right into helping build Cuticast TV. It's appreciated on there because, even though, we bring this out to you, it does cost us money on there. Electricity costs money, internet costs us money, all this stuff costs us money, maintenance and everything. So it does rank up a bill. But most of all, if you can't, that's okay. But if you could, we have this, and we do have our PayPal where you can send a couple bucks for coffee as well. But we still, most important, hit that subscribe, interact with our channel. That helps us the most. So I know we weren't last week. We just had some issues that we're working on. Like I said, live streaming we're working on there. We're just coming up on X, on their streaming. Then of course we ran into weather this week. I mean, we're still pulling up the weeds and stuff like that from the bad weather we had outside. Just recently, the last couple of days. We're just now getting back into recording because basically we held off just in case for power outage. So we took a couple of days off on there. Now we're getting back into full stream again. It's a lot going on. It's so much. You have to be careful sometimes. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away at certain points. And we try to put things together as best as possible. Nobody's perfect. But we're beginning to work with others. We're beginning to work with other content creators. You've seen this on our, that we've worked with Sci-Fi Snob, Sci-Fi for Me, Culture Casino. These are the collaborations that we're working with right now. And hopefully it builds a sort of a melting pot of content creators out there that we'll be able to work together through what YouTube has put through us, and we'll be able to be very successful to bring you a good program to you. So let's get into this. First off right off the bat, we did report that Demon Slayer was supposed to open in China back on October 8th. Seems like it was somehow delayed or something like that. It's still showing if you type it in Google. It's supposed to have had opened already the past weekend, but according to some Philippine news media, it's going to open in November, so it might have been delayed possibly on there. So somewhere probably in November. Understand, This is still going to be running in U.S. theaters straight through the rest of the year. So this is their numbers are not over. They're not going to be pulled from the theaters. Uh, we're not going to see this in streaming on Crunchyroll till well into next year. Probably the spring to summer, most likely. 4K Blu-ray release. They haven't announced as of yet. So basically, that's not coming anytime soon. It wasn't announced at Comic-Con. So basically, we'll have to wait and see when this comes out. Hopefully, it'll hit the $1 billion mark. First anime to hit the $1 billion mark. I mean, we're well over 700 million at this point. We've already far surpassed a lot of the top 10 stuff. F1, Superman, Fantastic Four, some of the animes that have been out there that's grossed top dollar. So basically, it is breaking records left and right. This is telling Hollywood, respect Japan, respect the product that they make out there. When you're going to try to do live action, stay away from that. Let the Japanese handle it themselves as well, because they make a better product. But continuing on, I'll tell you, New York Comic Con came and gone, and obviously not much fluster to the situation. Yeah, obviously you had the couple of trailers on there. I don't think this was, because I talked to some people on the ground and they were like, it was okay. It wasn't, as they say, exciting. I mean, it had its moments. It's basically from print format. There was a lot of good print format they said out there. A lot of good manga, a lot of good, comics and stuff, and drawings and stuff like that were out there. There was some major announcements, some minor. As far as the anime industry, I think most of it was announced back in August at Anime NYC. I think Jump Fiesta is the next, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Jump Fiesta is the next event coming soon. We'll probably get some more stuff on there. Obviously, you've got the standards that we already know what's coming on there, and of course the fall animes are underway to the point. But I do want to bring this out, which is very important to that situation, is that there's this box set, this steel book box set on there that's coming out. What is it? Early December. In fact, the price has come down. Originally, it was priced at $99. I've seen Amazon is showing it at $78 right now. And that is Satori Kon's Perfect Blue. And, I've talked about this before. And this was just in the theaters. It did make some money in the theaters just recently. I don't know if it's been removed from the theaters yet. I believe it was running over the weekend. And supposedly they said it was beautiful on the big screen on there, because this is a new restored edition. It's a 4K UHD, and it brings all the vibrant colors out. And this box set's coming in with quad posters, some beautiful artwork from the movie itself. It's going to have both the English and Japanese dubbing on it as well. I don't know if this is which version of the English dub this is. The original, I have the original when it first came out, and it wasn't a bad dub on there for the English dub onto there. But they probably might have tweaked it up just a bit. But watching in Japanese, I would recommend, as far as that with the subtitles. I mean, and if you haven't seen this, I mean, put this on your list. Definitely put this on your list if you have not seen this movie yet. This is one of the great masterpieces in anime out there. When we tell you, and a lot of us will tell you, anime is an artwork. Stop calling it pornography, because it is not pornography. This is the thing that we have to go through every day. They tell people, well, you're watching porn, you have all these. No, there are different levels of anime. The same way that there is You have in regular Hollywood movies, even cartoons, regular American cartoons, you have G-rated, you have PG, you have PG-13, you have R, and you have NC-17. What's the big difference on that? Yes, there are adult titles, which they call hentai. And then you have fan service, and then you have ones that just like in between, just that in between, which is okay also. Nothing wrong with that. But this particular title, Perfect Blue, you have directors who have taken influence from it. The movie Requiem from a Dream, and also Black Swan has taken sections of it. And they won't admit it. Some of them won't admit. No, we didn't get it from them, but we know better. We know better when you look at the scenes from those two films. Homage is okay. If you like the movie, and you use it in your movie, say when you're praising the quality of this. And yeah, this is on my list to get. I'll tell you this because I've had it from VHS straight to DVD, and I will be getting this version of it because this will be the ultimate on to this point. And like I said, do catch it. I mean, this goes back to 1997 onto this. People have enjoyed this film. The line gimmick was that they said if Hitchcock and Disney came together, this would be the movie that they would put out. Which is literally that's what it is. I mean, at some points, Perfect Blue was banned in certain places because or edited down because because of the subject matters that were involved in this. I mean, this is a psychological thriller. Some call it a horror, and basically, some people just couldn't take to it. They couldn't take. Did you watch it? Did you see how it is that it's brilliant to itself? No, of course not. They hear what is the elements within it, especially the rape scene. That there is a simulated rape scene in it, which is not. It's let's put it this way: the main plot of it is basically a pop singer who basically goes to Hollywood. She leaves the singing business to become a Hollywood actress. She has to do a scene where she is attacked. It's sort of like a Law and Order crime series type situation, and she has to do that particular scene onto there, and that's filmed on there. But it's not, it's graphic, but it's not graphic. It's not intense as people would think it is, but it's beautifully done as far as the way it's filmed. Because one thing about this film is that its main premise is the main character starts to lose the focus of what is what is in her life and reality and what's being the projects that she's working on. They sort of criss into each other, but I don't want to give too much away. You got to watch it. Just watch it. You'll understand why on there. Now, I just want to take a moment. I probably talked about this before on one of the last editions, but I've picked up a couple of good anime box sets on there. I've ordered some. I've been ordering some anime, catching up on there because there's some stuff that not going to be available soon. Obviously I got these are not anime, but it's good. They were good as far as CGI and stuff like that. I picked up the Tron box set, both steel books, and I had to pay hefty. And this is why I said I'm out buying some of these animes because the prices are going through the roof because a lot of the stuff is becoming unavailable. One thing I did get was a great bargain. If you get a chance, go to Sentai Filmworks store because they have some great sales every once in a while, especially during the holiday season. And their fulfillment is pretty good. It takes a bit, but they ship through regular U.S. mail, but you get it, everything nicely packaged and everything like that when you get through it. But I ended up picking up Gotcha Man. If you're familiar with Gotcha Man, Battle of the Planets. This is not the Battle of the Planets version. This is the original Japanese. Actually, it's dubbed in English also. They had a box set that was like worth $150. $150. I ended up picking up for about 50. As far as that is it's the entire series itself. It's all nice together. Bunch of Blu-rays all together. Good quality as far as that. And if you haven't seen it in the Japanese, because most people here on this side of the continent, they're familiar with the Battle of the Planets version. And the thing about it is, the Battle of the Planets version is edited down, just like a lot of the 4Kids, the Fox Kids shows that came out of Japan. Battle of the Planets, even though it was like Sandy Frank, yeah, Mystery Science Theater. Gatchaman was edited down. A lot of the violence, a lot of the endings too. A perfect example is one of the episodes where there were these two people that they were in love with each other. I forget what it was. One was a princess or something to that nature, and they were turned into androids, and basically they had bombs inside them to the point, and they decided to give up their lives, blow themselves up, together. So basically they protect the planet at the end. But the way they re-edited it to the point in the American version is that they disappeared and they went off. Their spirits entered into another dimension and galaxy. Something similar out of Star Trek motion picture to that point. So you see the subtle differences because they don't really go through death in the Battle of the Planets version. But in Gatchaman, you'll get deaths. You get horrible deaths onto there. It is a great series to watch it once again onto there. The other one, I had to get this. I mean, literally, because it's basically eventually it'll become unavailable because of it. The way people pushed the characters in this show and made it sound very sexually driven. Is No Game No Life, and I ended up getting No Game No Life for about $25. It's the first season and the only season probably we'll get out of it, plus the movie. And this is beautifully done. The animation is fantastic on this. I mean, if you haven't caught this yet, it is really, really good. I mean, it's about a brother and sister. They end up getting dragged in a world where games are played all the time. The problem is that that a lot of people have had problems with this is the relationship between the brother and sister, but not understanding that these are shut-ins, which is a big problem in Japanese society these days, where people just don't leave their homes, that they stay inside and they're on the internet playing games, reading books, and they just basically they don't interact with society. And basically here, they're dragged out of their home by this God being type that wants to play a game and basically sent into another world to that point. And they have to interact with a lot of these people. And people don't understand this. This is the same thing with Mushoku Tensei. Mushoku Tensei, Rudy, he was also a shut-in. And basically, because he was basically made fun of into the whole situation, emotionally charred, by his school, people who he went to school with. So he ended up, being, shut in. Which when his parents died, he didn't go to the funeral. And what does his siblings do? They kicked him out of the house. Which basically he ended up soaked in the rain with without any additional clothes, barefooted, and he ends up saving a person in Truck Con and basically reborn in a fantasy world. And and that's the thing. When you look to a lot of the animes that are out, especially the stuff that's controversial, you'll see that basically it brings up some of the things that actually happen in real life Japan society. And they said, well, it's sexual. No. You have to understand the situations on there to that point. And if you want to complain about sexualization, There's plenty of it in Hollywood. We can go down a long list, and nobody really truly complains about the Hollywood productions. A la Cuties, if we remember that to that point. People complained, but not the people that complain about the anime. They just skipped over that and they said, "No, we can't. It was directed by a woman, a fierce that she was trying to make a point to the situation." Yeah, so are a lot of anime directors, and a lot of them are women. A lot of the creators are women. They think it's like all these perverts that are making all these animes and manga, and it's not. It's incorrect. The final thing that I got on this particular patch from Sentai is one that I love, and this one, it's got a little fan service, not too much. It's just got a little bit, but it's a great story, and to a point, it has some comedic tones that you got to laugh at it every once in a while. Is one that's called "Farming Life in Another World." If you haven't caught this, and I've talked about this before, it's a great anime. It's about a guy who dies. That basically, from what it looks like, I guess he was disabled. That he was bedridden in his original life. He dies and meets with God, and God offers him and says, "I know your life was hard and stuff like that, but I'll give you a chance to reclaim your life, put you in another world, and tell me what do you want? What do you want to do?" And he says, "Listen, while I was sick, I was watching all these farming videos that look really really good, and I learned to the basics of farming while to that point." So God gives him this tool, this magic tool that will allow him to farm, and puts him in this place that basically he built his own farm and ends up to be built up to his own town that basically everyone's afraid of because of who comes to live in the town. And I'm not going to give to the point, but there are characters that come to live there that it's the demon lords and all the dragon lords, and they're all like, "Oh my god, what do we do?" To that point. It's funny. But and the thing about it is, just like the cooking ones as well, I mean, he does some stuff there. He puts together food recipes that some of these people have never heard of before, to the point like curry and certain breads and rice balls. He grows rice, and people never heard of rice before. These are the things that he puts together onto that. And this is showing, what type of, anime that you could produce out there that are really good. And the thing about it is, the Japanese society, they love to cook. That's why you see a lot of stories that have some cooking premise involved. And, it's kind of fun to see stuff like this when it comes to that. But speaking of season one, we are getting a season 2 of it. It's going to be a bit, but somewhere in 2026, we're going to get the second season of this series. And the original directors, some of the people are coming back onto their same character, the people who've worked the character design and all that, and it's pretty much the whole staff is coming back for the season 2 for this. And it is like I said, it is a fun series. The way it left off, to the point, that now he has a son or a daughter? I think it's a son on there, and a lot more going on. And we're gonna find out. Hey, listen, what's gonna happen next? To this point, will they have to go to war on something? Will they have to? Because the way we're leaving it off is that they're planning to expand. They plan to expand the town because more and more people are coming to live there. So we'll look forward to that in 2026. Okay, this was something we were supposed to cover last week, but we ran into the issues. But if you're not paying attention politics wise, we have a new prime minister of Japan, and happens to be a woman, the first of its kind in Japan. I'm sorry if I butcher this. Sani Takahashi. She is the new prime minister of Japan. She happens to be a protege of Shinzo Abe, so she has a lot of the same beliefs that he did to the point. And looking at some of her backstories and pictures, to the point, some of it's been, led on the internet, you know, she was, in her youth, she was a wild child, played drums, and she loves motorcycles, motorcycle aficionado, and she still is. She still rides, supposedly, she still rides motorcycles to that point. And you know, hey, listen, where was she when I was young? Talk about cool. But her politics. It seems that she may be able to help to the point as far as the anime manga business, as far as itself. I mean, because we're seeing a lot that's going on, a lot of changes. Uh, they're beginning to fight back on everything across the board. I mean, some of the things she wants to do, she wants to recognize um, separate family names for married couples, which basically it could, have harm to the social structure, to the point. She also opposes revisiting the imperial household laws to allow women to accelerate the christening throne. She's opposed to same-sex marriage. Um, there should be, she believes there should be no prudence against sexual orientation or gender identity. You know, it's the standard that you see a lot of the conservatives these days, the principles that are going on right now. Because it's we can go through a lot of this, and the insanity that's going on lately with the liberals to that point. But I think that one of the most important thing is that she's trying to keep Japan whole, as it always has been, which it should be. Whereas, places like the United Kingdom, France, Germany, they're losing the cohesion of what they are because of the illegal migration that's going on there. That basically, you have the World Economic Forum and the EU trying to push this point where basically to pull these countries apart, and you're seeing what's going on overseas to that point. And you even here to the point of of all the rioting that's going on to there. But we have a president in the White House that's not going to take any of this shit to that point. To have another, and I believe they're supposed to be meeting soon, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's either at the end of this at the end of this month. Should I don't know if she's coming here or he's going there. President Trump and the Prime Minister of Japan are going to meet together, talk business to the point, and I believe they will see eye to eye to that point. They might have some disagreements, which is okay. That you're supposed to talk these things out to that point. But one of the things on there, and we're going to finish this off today, and we've been having situations with payment processors, Visa, Mastercard, to the point in Japan itself, when it comes to buying things. Visa hasn't learned, from what's been going on, especially now that the case on the other end of the world, as far as the Pornhub Visa trafficking case, some of this stuff is being dismissed, which is probably going to have Visa fall out of that case in itself, because they try to drag Visa in, saying, "Oh, Visa knew about all this stuff." Saying it and not having proof of it doesn't allocate that's what is going on, and this is the situation that we have going on in the courts of recently. And the other half is to the point is, overseas payment processors are taking to the point where they will sit back and telling you, listen, you have to bend the knee to us because we collect your money, and you make the and we give the money out to where it's supposed to be. We collect it for you. We give it back to you. You shouldn't be selling some of this stuff onto there. We're going to dictate what you sell and what you shouldn't sell, which is wrong. Banks should not be telling you what you should be selling. If it's legal, if it's illegal, you should not be trying to institute your opinion on their business. Plain and simple. You should be paying attention to your own business and what some of the people that are, as I say, money laundering businesses through your credit card systems and payment processors, because that's not what's happening here. Now, most, and people will say, like, well, if you don't like it, why don't you just make your own? Well, in this case, and this came out in an article from, I'm not sure what the name of the article is, but this came through from one of the politicians in Japan, who is pro anime manga. And DLsite happens to be one of the ones that have been knocked off because of payment processing. So they've replaced it with a payment processor called Minna no Bank Payment. So now basically DLsite is back up and running properly, and as far as if you're over in Japan, you'll be able to use this particular one. Now, as far as those on this end, as far as I know, what I've seen so far, can't do it from our end yet. I don't think it's ready on our end yet. Eventually, probably we'll be able to do it. DLsite has started offering a new payment method to replace credit cards called Minna no Bank Payment. It is an instant payment service directly connected to the account of the smartphone, completely digital bank. Minna no Bank and viviON ID can be used by linking it. And we'll read into this. AYSL Co. Limited and their parent company, viviON, which operates the two-dimensional comprehensive downloads sales sites DLsite, and the parent company that started offering a new payment method for service Minna no Bank Payment on October 6th. Now, understand it's a little rushed because this is a translation. Minna no Bank Payment is an instant payment service directly connected to the account of the digital bank. Minna no Bank and viviON ID can be used by linking the account of the digital bank to your smartphone. Minna Bank is a smartphone complete digital bank. You can manage everything from payments to transfers, deposits, withdrawals, and savings within the app, and you can open the account as little as within 5 minutes. In addition, in commemorating of the start of the service, a special campaign is also being carried out. If you open the new account, viviON branch at Minna no Bank, you'll receive 500 yen in cash. In addition, DLsite gives users who have linked their viviON account and everyone's bank account for the first time with a 90% off coupon up to 1,000 yen that can be used with the service. If you can actually use everyone's bank payment and make a payment, you can get another 90% of the same coupon. The campaign is scheduled to run until January 30th, 2026. And during the period until March 31st, 2026, if you use everyone's bank payment on DLsite, you'll receive a total of 5% viviON points with a 2% return, which usually the 2% return is a total of 5% viviON points with 3% on top, and of 3% will be returned. In the background to the establishment of the Minna no Bank viviON branch, cited the growth of the cashless payment ratio as a result of the expansion of the online payment market. In order for users to be able to make payments more easily and safely in the midst of such an expansion of the market, Minna no Bank that matches the purpose and philosophy of viviON Co. Limited and the parent company's GEO Group will collaborate. Minna No Bank Payment will continue to expand the target services sequentially in the future and will create an environment that can be used by the entire viviON group. Now, yeah, it sounded a little abrupt on there, but like I said, that was a translation from another site discussing this. Now, what does that mean? That means now, for those of you who have said, "Why don't you just make your own site?" If you don't like the site, well, here we go. Here we go. We have a bank that's being built up to handle payment processing, to this type of payment processing, and for the purpose of buying things in Japan. Like I said, as far as I know, it's not available for international at the moment. I know it's domestically in Japan. It's running there. I know eventually they'll probably start to expand outward to that certain point and start to give competition to payment processors like PayPal and many others, to that point, to show them that basically, hey, we don't need to use your processing system to basically buy something in Japan. At first these guys, and of course Visa is not going to take to you're going to be like, nah, they're nothing. I would worry right now, because basically, considering the popularity of the type of things that Visa has been trying to shut down, it's going to make a dent in their business, because if people use it for purchasing anime, purchasing manga, art to the situation, they might use it for other things. They might decide to use it on Alibaba. They might decide to use it on Amazon, to that point. And that will become an issue to Visa down the line and MasterCard. But like I said, this is just a start. It's to the parameters that this is what's going on over there. Like I said, a lot of changes coming, and the fight for the protection of anime and manga is continuing on. To a point to that situation. As I said, anime and manga is an art form, and it has to be protected. People, like I said, it is not, and I'll say this again, it is not pornography. It is not C-SPAN. You go through these situations where people will tell you these things. Don't believe them. Take a moment, take a moment. I know there's still a lot of people out there that don't understand about this type of animation. Why is there some of it geared for adults? Understand, here in the U.S., we've had it here. It hasn't done, it hasn't done well, but it's starting to rebuild itself. Because now you realize that on this end of the world, in the West, anime has become king. And the animations that are being made here, and you've seen some of the stuff that's being made, Flash Gets, I think it's Flash Gets, that they have, their series on there, Space King, which I love the Space King, but they just had the third episode, and they had the little shorts on there. See, that's the stuff that, we need to see more and more. And we know Freedom Tunes is starting to make full-length animation episodes to another point. I mean, we had some great full-length movies. Some of them have been banned. Some of them have been censored. We've had stuff like Fritz the Cat, Heavy Traffic, Heavy Metal, the sequel to Heavy Metal. And there've been a slew of movies. I mean, you can go, there are some YouTubers out there that go through a top 10, top 15 of animations that have been banned and the reasons why they have been. Some, and I'll tell you this, there are some out there that we will not get the full cut of it because it has been damaged so much because of the censorship and all that, that some of the proper elements are lost to history. We need to stop this. There has to be a point where we say enough is enough with these Puritans, these e-Karens, these, however you want to put it, to the point. I just call them Puritans because they obviously, if you don't like it, nobody can forcing you to watch it. Nobody. I say this I'm blue in the mouth every other episode. You don't have to watch this. But I'm going to tell you, you're kind of missing out on certain things because here's the thought pattern. And this is from the Japan version, is that anime and manga, there's something for everyone there. There's some great stuff out there. Stuff that's made for kids, stuff that's made for adults, some that's made for teens, some made for the sports fanatics, some made for the cooking fanatics. So, we have a little bit of everything there. Yes, there's adult stuff. Of course there is. Every genre you're going to think of has some sort of an adult version. Hollywood has their version. And I'm not talking about the porn industry. I'm talking about stuff that basically would fall into the category of either rated R or NC-17. Yes, they have sex. Yes, they have things that basically are a little horrifying. From the horror point of view, since we're in October. But it's just stories. Stories to take us away from the problems that are happening in our lives daily. See, there are those of us who just want us to be mindless drones. NPCs, non-player characters out there. They're just basically, if you ever see Equilibrium, That's what they want for us. They want to destroy. They're destroying artwork right now. They're destroying statues, tearing down history, trying to change history, twist it all up. And as far as education for children in the schools, they're trying to destroy that as well. They're trying to destroy your children's lives by telling them, says, well, if you question things, maybe you're not in your right body. I want to know who the fuck, and I'm sorry to say in my language on that, thought of this, that would be right to tell people, to tell children that they should be taking drugs to change their bodies, to destroy what they will become eventually. Adults. They're taking away their childhood and they're taking away their adulthood. They're taking away the ability to procreate. They're hurting them. When will we get it in ourselves? Stop blaming anime. Stop blaming manga for this. Because that's what they're doing every day. Every day we continue to hear this. And, when people talk against, this situation, they call us racist. They call us Nazis, the white supremacists. Excuse me, I'm Puerto Rican. I have lived a cherished life. I've seen a lot go on in the years growing up. And what they're doing now to kids, my mother would go, on a tirade if they tried to do that to me and my brother. Parents protected children at points when we were young. It's not happening now. We need to protect our children. We need to protect our families. We need to protect the entertainment that we give to these children and families. even the adult stuff that basically goes to certain people. We have fun with a lot of this. This is the same, and I'll say this again. In the 80s and 90s, you had congressional hearings that tried to put a damper onto these things. They went after the music. They went after the video games. They went after what was on your television screen. They went after your movie screen, and it was ridiculous. And there were experts that came out that denounced that none what they were telling you at these hearings was the truth, that they were lying to you. What was being told to these politicians basically some of them were making up these facts, were lies. Our education standards are in the toilet right now. And it has nothing to do with the anime or manga. It has nothing to do with the entertainment, the music, the social media. It has nothing to do with that. Parents need to step in, take charge of their children properly. Even the single family homes, or the single parent homes. We need to get back to mother and father in our homes once again. I could go on this all day, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to subject you to that, but you understand what we are going through right now as a society. There are those who want to destroy society that we've had in the past that was working. Do you understand? It was working. But you see where we are today. So take this moment, you drop a comment, a like, share, and don't forget, hit that subscribe. We really do appreciate it. It's very important. Like I said before, it's very important that you do this. We do have our merch shop at shopcuticast.com. We are planning to extend the 10% off. Basically, we're going to be extending it out. Use the promo code VPN10 for now. And we'll probably expand it to the end of the month for now as we get into the holidays. I can't believe we say the holidays are around the corner. Thanksgiving is around the corner. So thank you for tuning in. Be sure to check out Sci-Fi Snobs Top Lofty Lounge this Sunday. I believe, is it this Sunday? I believe it's movie night. I think they're doing Flash Gordon, the 1980s Flash Gordon on there. So do check it out. They'll be discussing on that. It's a great discussion. You never know what craziness will come out of it. And then, of course, every Wednesday, 11 p.m. Eastern, on his channel also is the Babylon 5 retrospective. Another chapter in season 2 on there, the march to season 3, which is coming soon. On to that point. Also check out Sci-Fi For Me. Click on his subscription. You know when he goes live on there, and he's planning to put out some more independent videos onto there, so do check it out. Also, Man with the Show, daily videos here during the week, right here on CutieCast TV. That's right, we have more videos, a lot to talk about very soon. So, treat your anime and manga like a fresh bottle of wine. Open it, smell it, taste it. Enjoy it. Until next time, thank you very much, and we'll see you next Thursday on another edition of A Taco Thursday.
Thanks for watching, commenting, and sharing this video. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe, as this helps the reach of this channel. Finally, as a content viewer, you have the ability to help support this channel, as new internet laws around the world will diminish our reach and affect our sponsors. If you choose to help, there are 2 ways, listed in the description below. The first link will lead you to a pay site where you can make a monetary donation. The second will lead you to our gear shop, where you can buy shirts, mugs, and other gear. Discounts will be listed on the site. Once again, thank you for watching and your support.
what you think, bitch. Fix your life.